Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Farmergate on Tuesday caught the attention of members of the public who are weighing in on whether farmers should be grateful for support in the form of seedlings and other agricultural inputs, or whether all farmers should be eligible for the income support cash payments of $1,500. Here is what you had to say.
But to me, if they have a takada for the farmers and they're giving them sell, give them both of them. Give them both the money and the sell to buy one time. Because the farmers need the money and they need the salt. There are people working for them, no money. So just give them the salt and give them the money. Because the amount of salt they will give them, the money they have there, they won't give them all that salt for $1,500. Buy semunala to volley.
That the epidemic that is going on now. I mean, if the government give the farmers at least the $1,500, because everybody have the children to support those going back to school. You know, I think the $1,500 is better to give the farmers the $1,500 in their hands.
Moi, c'est pharmacie, c'est l'argent yo vle ba yo l'argent yo. C'est mon argent ni gwen yo ba bouse gwen c'est l'argent yo bouse. Yo issue pour voir l'école, yo bouse ba needs. Si yo han gwen yo ba sa vie accepter gwen encore.
Give the people the money. Okay. I think they should give the people the money because school closed and people have their books to buy, and look now they put on the book list each child must have a tablet, so give the farmers the money.
Se bayo la yo be fertilizer bayo la jan yo buizen pou fè zafè yo ba isho ba madame yo mama la ni pou aller l'école bayo yale.
Mais content moun ka gade moi di moi yo ka ban porte ice cream vie pour un porte ice cream ça pas faire pièce science. Ba femme la yo pour ça move to the next level.
Give the farmers their money.
The staff of the Boys Training Center have come through in a big way for a mother in desperate need of proper shelter. The staff began construction of a home for the mother of a former ward at the Boys Training Center in 2019. The mother is now the owner of a 2-bedroom home. The Boys Training Center is now calling on corporate St. Lucia or generous individuals to assist with the furnishing of the home for the Dennery resident.
The mother of a former ward of the Boys Training Center, BTC, Natasha John, now has a place to call home. She is the gracious recipient of a lovely 2-bedroom dwelling in Rock Lane, Dennery. The house was constructed by the staff of the Boys Training Center, and the building materials were provided by the St. Lucia Social Development Fund, SSDF. Manager of the Boys Training Center, Wang Sonson, stated that Ms. John was flagged as being in desperate need of a home after a social worker from the Boys Training Center visited her home and saw her unsatisfactory living condition.
Today, we're handing over this house to the mother of a former ward of the center. She came to our attention whilst her son was a ward at the center, and through my social worker, who came to me and told me the conditions that they were living in. She actually has 2 younger daughters, less than 10 years old. And when she told me the conditions that they were living in, we decided to get support from SSDF. With the assistance of SSDF, we were able to get material, the building material. And then I brought the idea to our staff and told them that we needed to assist her. The staff, as you can see, some of them behind me right now, they were more than eager to assist. And with their support, we were able to provide labor for building of that house.
Further noted that,
being that we are in the hurricane season, it is at an ideal moment that we are putting her into this new residence. Hopefully she and her family will be safe during this hurricane season.
Mr. Sonson is also appealing to persons who will assist Miss Natasha Johnny in obtaining furniture for the new home to contact the Boys Training Center for guidance in doing so.
I know for a fact that she will need support with furniture and appliances for the house. So if anyone out there is willing to assist, feel free to contact myself at the Boys Training Center, and we will guide you as to how to assist her.
Recipient of the new dwelling, Miss Natasha Johnny, expressed her gratitude for the donation.
So I'm feeling like that. I was feeling a little afraid this morning, but I'm happy that I moved from where I was to a new home. Thank you, BTC and SSDF, for the donation they have done for me.
The construction of the house began in 2019 and was due to be completed in early 2020. But due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it had to be pushed back. The dwelling was finally completed in July 2020, and the house was officially handed over to Miss Natasha Johnny on Friday, July 24th, 2020. Reporting from the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice, Local Government, and Empowerment, I am Chevrolet Marius.
Former CARICOM Ambassador Earl Huntley is reflecting on the indelible mark that Barbados' longest-serving Prime Minister had on the Caribbean region. Huntley is well placed to offer such a reflection, given that he was a former university mate of Owen Arthur. Barbados' longest-serving Prime Minister, Owen Arthur, passed away on Monday, the 27th of July, 2020. Leaders across the Caribbean have praised Arthur's intellect and efforts to seek unity through the regional trade bloc known as CARICOM. Former CARICOM Ambassador Earl Huntley, who attended the University of the West Indies along with Arthur, describes him as one of the great champions of Caribbean regional integration.
It is true to say that without Owen Arthur, the Caribbean single market and economy would not have happened and would certainly not be as advanced as it is today. He demonstrated his commitment to the unity of the region very early in his career, when he proposed to the OECS that Barbados become a member with a view to establishing a confederation of the member states so that they could resume the federal ties that had been broken in the 1960s. I was at that meeting here in St. Lucia in 1998 when he addressed the OECS. And for me, also a devoted regionalist, this was great music to my ears. Unfortunately, some OECS heads could not appreciate his vision, and the initiative did not bear fruit.
Huntley says Arthur will go down in history as one of Barbados' greatest prime ministers, but he says as a leader, he had his complexities and dualities.
Owen Arthur and I were history students at Caville, University of the West Indies Caville campus between 1968 and 1971. We were in the same history class. And sometime in 2004, 2005, I met him at a conference, and he said to me that he understood that Sir John Compton was attempting to return to politics at his age. At that time, Sir John was approaching 80. And Owen said to me that he didn't intend to stay in politics that long. This was his third term, and he was not going to continue. But he did continue. He contested that election and lost. He lost about 2 other elections after that, and eventually left Parliament as an independent member, leaving his party. And the lesson to me from that is that Caribbean prime ministers, Caribbean leaders need to know when to go. But despite all that, this will not blemish his record. He will go down as one of the greatest prime ministers of Barbados and one of the greatest leaders of Caribbean regional integration. May he rest in peace.
The Barbados government marked 3 days of mourning in Arthur's memory. Arthur served as Prime Minister from 1994 to 2008, with the former economist lauded for policies that helped reduce unemployment in Barbados. After retiring from politics, Arthur became a professor at the University of the West Indies and in January was named chairman of the board of directors of regional airline Liat. The Public Relations Officer for the Ayanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari, Emerson Nurse, is one of 2 individuals to benefit from a recent ruling by the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court. According to Nurse, as of Tuesday, the 28th of July, 2 Rastafarians can breathe a sigh of relief following the suspension of possession and cultivation charges against them.
Apart from yesterday's famous announcement from Minister Bradley Felix, there was also a ruling handed down by the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court about the constitutional motion filed on behalf of legal counsel David Moiston regarding a stay of arrest for anyone found with cannabis, commonly known as marijuana. The result is the suspension of possession and cultivation charges against 2 ICA members amidst current negotiations to finally remove prohibition of the sacramental and industrial plant. Although ICA's request as claimant number 1 toward a stay of arrest for all citizens was turned down, The organization applauds the state's decision at this time to proceed with cannabis legalization after a prolonged period of struggle connected with calls starting with the Rastafarian movement to free the herb.
Nurse says small steps are still commendable steps on the righting of the historic wrongs related to the classification of cannabis as an illegal drug and the implications of the war on drugs. He calls it light at the end of a long, dark tunnel and glorious times for global human rights. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more coming up after the break.